Well, good afternoon, viewers. We're still working on this '07 Nissan Frontier. I know it needs an ECM. If you watch the other two videos I put up, this is part 3. I was suspecting that the ECM was causing the crank no start cold and the loss of communication. So I kept the ECM in the shop where it was warm and put it in the truck and experienced the same problem. So then I changed out the ECM power relay. That didn't make any difference, and I changed the fuse panel outside in the cold, and that didn't make any difference. So the problem with this is if I leave it in the shop for a half an hour, it'll start like there's nothing wrong. If you watch the first and second video on this, when it's cold, I got communication with the ECM, but as soon as I crank it, I lose communication. So I'm leaning towards a power feed to the ECM or ground. But I qualified those, or at least I thought I did, by load testing them at the connectors here. But obviously it was warm when I did that. So something is compromised. I'm not sure if it's one of the power relay feeds. There's 2 power relay feeds, but we're going to set up some test probes on this thing and park it outside the door and put a lab scope on the battery feed, the ignition feed, one of the ECM power feeds, and a ground. And I'll probably put a graphing multimeter on a couple of other circuits like the crank sensor signal and the injector or ignition coil control, one or the other. But I have to get at the connectors inside here, this ECM here, and identify the wires, so we'll have to take some tape off the harness. So I've reconnected the battery, and I'm going to try it. Now I got to get a battery charger on it. Let's get a battery charger set up on it. What a spaghetti breakfast. Pin 13 is the crank signal. Pin 1 is a ground. All the black ones are grounds. So I got 2 grounds down here. 1 battery power, 1 key switch power, 1 ECM power. And I'm going to probably put 1 more for an injector pulse width. I know you're cringing because I'm using probes, but I don't think this vehicle's got many more years left in it. If we can get another. I just seen a wire corroded here. It's a twisted pair too. It doesn't look like the insulation is compromised on it, but it doesn't look like it's bad. So let's see, number 40, 41, 42. Our fuel injector is violet, red, and orange. 40, 41, 42, it's on the upper connector. Oh, it's right up here. This red one should be one of them. Okay, we're going to put it on this red wire. That's a fuel injector. That happens to be number 4 fuel injector. So we'll get another piercing probe. So it's in the shop now and it's starting now, but this yellow trace went from 13.3 volts where cursor 1 is to 8.3 volts while it's cranking. And I got the same voltage on the red trace, which is the injector, until it starts to energize the injectors. Once it starts running, it comes back up, but there's low voltage to the main I think that's pin 121. I got to double check which wire I'm on. I got so many test leads going on here. The ground on the blue trace is 0.0 during cranking, 0.28. And the green trace is 0.3 volts. I can't remember what the green trace is. Oh, that's a ground as well. And this is a ground over here. 11.9 volts. I got my battery charger on it. Why isn't it putting out more than that? Putting out 16 amps. Well, I'm going to see if I can do a voltage drop test on that power feed wire to the ECM. This yellow trace here. Because it's probably losing battery power. I got to make sure I'm on the pin 121. Yes, that's pin 121 is battery power. It's a red black wire. Just figure out where that comes from. What a spaghetti breakfast. But that would make sense if it's losing battery voltage. The ECM just shuts down and lose communication, and of course it'll crank and no start. So that pin 121 comes from the IPDM fuse 53. Well, I know there's some corrosion in that IPDM, and that used one that I got is not for the vehicle, and it doesn't run at all with that one. I don't know what's different about it, but it doesn't run. So I put the original one back in. That's... That's the same fuse that feeds the ECM relay. ECM relay here, fuse 53. Fuse 53. I had that fuse out and it doesn't look corroded, but there might be corrosion inside the IPDM. I think I'm going to jump power to that pin 121 and see if it starts tomorrow morning. So I'm measuring the voltage going into the IPDM on the heavy red wire there. I had cleaned those terminals, and that comes from here, I believe. And this is all sketchy looking, but during cranking, it dropped to 9.7. Actually, .18 volts. So there's, I wonder if it's just this big maxi fuse that needs to be cleaned. Low power to the IPDM. So the heavy white wire coming out of the IPDM on that 6-wire plug, which is E121, I believe, is the starter cranking circuit. You can't bypass the starter relay because the power is not at pin 30 of the relay until the ignition switch is turned to crank. So just jumping the relay won't make it crank. So I got a remote start button in here. I've got channel 1, the yellow trace, connected to the battery feed to the ECM, and channel 2, the black trace, connected to ground. Then you can see at rest is sitting at 12.8. Watch what happens. So we don't have a ground problem, but we have voltage drop in this IPDM. I've checked the main feeds coming in, and it's good coming in. Fuse 53, which I believe is this 20 amp fuse, feeds that power. I suppose I could check it on the wire that's coming out of the IPDM. I think that's a red wire. I'm not sure which one it is. Probably one of these in this. I'll look it up. So let's summarize. I know it needs a PCM because it's keeping the ECM relay grounded all the time, and that keeps the O2 sensor heaters on and power to the mass airflow sensor. Creates a parasitic draw of about 1 amp. Kills the battery overnight. So that I could fix with a relay as a workaround. The customer brought me an ECM, but for a Pathfinder it doesn't work. It needs an intelligent power distribution module. There's corrosion inside. I got a voltage drop through it. I've got one from another Xterra. It's different and it doesn't run with that one. So there's something different about it, even when it's warm. But looking at the vehicle underneath, as you can see, cab corners and rocker panels and fenders are rotted. Backing plates are gone. Rear brakes have some lining left, but not much. This side is rotten. Rocker panels, cab corners. The frame is fairly solid looking. I don't see any rot holes in it. Heat shields on the catalytic converter is rusted off. Front brakes are worn out. It looks like it hasn't been greased forever. I should have done a visual inspection of this thing before I got into it. Because between the IPDM and the ECM, we're looking at about $1,000 US. And that's probably not the end of it. The exhaust has been repaired several times and it's ready to fail again. Oh well. Tranny pan is rusty. It's not leaking yet. I wouldn't even attempt to change it because those bolts go through the pan boss. Sometimes they snap off. You see this stabilizer link is broken on the right side. That's minor. So we're going to park this thing outside and try one more time to supply battery power, good battery power to the ECM battery feed wire with a fuse jumper wire and see if it'll start cold. It always starts warm. So it's the next morning. We're going to try and start this vehicle. I got to connect this ground for the ECM relay. So the ECM relay turns on. Here's my feed wire. I haven't got it connected to the 12 volts yet, but I'm going to confirm that it doesn't start or still has the same problem. Because I obviously moved a lot of wires in the last few days. Key in the ignition. Check engine light is on. Okay, so no start. Let's put direct battery power to the battery feed wire to the ECM and see if that makes a difference. I honestly don't think it's going to help. because we got low voltage to the ignition coils too. According to, after reviewing my video last night, I noted that the injector pulse width was low as well. So let's take this ground wire off. So I give up. This one wins today.